Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
Doing okay.
Anything new going on?
We got another dog,
Well, I guess that's new.
another basset. This one's all dark brown except for a couple of white spots.
Is this I am trapped in a wire. Is this the same dog, the same new dog you had last week, or is this a new
Yes,
dog?
no, just the two of them,
Just the two. Two
Presley
is
and Blossom.
two is enough. Uh, I I don't know what I did. I figured out my little M5 stack problem.
Ah, cool.
So when more people show up, we can play with it. Because I made a lot of changes. It was very rough. So I figured out, though, that I was looking at the wrong code the whole entire time. I saw a nose. Oh, yeah.
So now that there's two of them, they bark more. I had expected twice as much barking. It's closer to 10 times as much barking. Yeah, here's the new one. Well, maybe if she gets up there, never mind.
Um, so has your old dog accepted the new one yet?
Mostly this morning they were having fun playing around.
Mm.
Presley slept in the bed with us pretty much the entire time we've had her, and she's not happy that she has to share the bed with a mere dog.
So they're both female.
Yes.
That could be a disaster. Niblet, she was fine around male dogs for the most part, but another female dog come around and gosh, that was just an evil dog. We had some excitement yesterday over here. Apparently there was a high speed chase while we were out watching or getting something to eat. Um, and let's see here. That's behind the
Oops.
that's behind the apartment, and apparently
They didn't get away, or at least the car didn't.
the I am not real sure how he got there because I mean there's buildings and stuff in the way. So, but apparently it was a stolen car out of Middletown, and Middletown was chasing him, and it actually looks like he hit the fence right there, and realized no, that's a bad idea. That's 8 foot worth of more than that. It's probably ten
Yeah.
foot 10 foot worth of drop. But Lebanon PD was here, and a bunch of Franklin PD, of course, and Carlisle, and Springboro, and of course Middletown, who was started the whole thing. They were all in here looking for this guy who ran off from them. And drones were flying overhead and all kinds of fun stuff. But Patty was like, "Well, why didn't that guy keep going?" I'm like, "Well, maybe he realized it was a bad idea."
Can't outrun a radio.
Well, you don't want to take a car down a 10-foot drop either. That was the fun excitement while we were out. We were out uh, getting food. Her sister calls her and says, "What's going on over at your apartment? There's a bunch of cops over there." And I'm like, I don't have the scanner on, so I turned it on and went back in time and was like, I think it's a car chase. And sure enough, by the time we got home, it was a car chase. Did you? Let's see. Think
Sorry, the work phone updated.
always something. Do you see the video that Barry sent
I
about
did.
that guy? He's got a setup. I want a microscope like that. Do all that fun work. I miss this one. Barry sent another video. I missed it. I was uh I was at Walmart today, and Walmart put in those e-paper price thingy mabobs, and
Hmm.
they had a couple of them sitting on a box, and I went over and I was picking them up and looking at them, and one of them were, "You can't be looking at that." And I'm like, "I'm just curious. I'm not going to take it or anything. I just wanted to see what it was." I mean, you don't want people to look at it. Don't put it on a box.
Or all over along the aisles, or
Yeah.
there are a lot of neat things about those, a lot of unneat things. Lots of folks report that prices change throughout the day depending on when you shop. Sounds like a good reason to have a Raspberry Pi sitting somewhere inside of the store on a battery pack that starts up once every 10 minutes or so and queries for what the prices are, tracks it. Wonder if you could do that.
Well, Wendy's tried that. What do they call that? The flexible pricing or whatever they call that, and that didn't work so well for Wendy's. So demand pricing or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. go and generate a new token, apparently. That's what happens when I don't check my email. There's a ton of emails just sitting in my email box, in my inbox. Some of it's actually useful. Yeah. Went and did our taxes today. That was not
I
fun.
still got to do that. Yeah, not looking forward to that.
We have lived in Franklin. We're going on 4 years now, and the first year, Franklin taxes were not horrible, but we had paid half the year to Middletown and half the year to Franklin, and it wasn't horrible. Patty works in Springboro, so they take out Springboro taxes. Springboro is like, I don't know, 4 or 5% cheaper to live than, which is weird. But we always get hammered with Franklin taxes, and we've even told Kroger to take more money out for city taxes, and we still owe them money. It's still,
Really?
yeah. It's, I
I
don't,
add $60 per pay period for state and 80 for federal. And that pretty much always gets me a pretty good refund.
yeah. Well, we don't have a problem with state or federal. It, we come out okay. We usually get a refund from both of those. I think one year we ended up owing the feds $1. I'm not real sure how that happened, but that was 10 years ago maybe. So, um, but we rarely ever have a problem with the state. It's the stupid city taxes. The two cities are so far apart, and they're right next to each other, but they're so far apart in what they charge, it doesn't match. And trying to, I sit there and tried to do the math to figure out what the difference was, and I thought I had it solved, and then it didn't work. So,
I moved out of Middletown in 2015, like February, I think. And I'd moved into Middletown in 2013. So I lived there for 2 years. Actually, I lived there for a year and 2 months. And I was unemployed for most of that time. They keep sending me city tax things, which so far I've just been ignoring. I know that's going to work against me at some point, but I've called them and said, "What do you show that I owe you for?" And they said, "Well, just come on in." Oh, no, no, no. Not going to do that. You're right next to the police station. I can see bad things happening. Just I tell me what I owe and we can work with that. They'll never do that, of course. I'm on the work machine, so the video is being stupid.
uh,
I have no idea why. Uh,
Barry's here too. Barry showed up.
yep.
But um, when I worked with Ray for the few months that I worked with him, I didn't realize we lived in Monroe at the time, and I didn't realize that I had to file with Middletown. I thought I filed where I lived, so I went to Monroe. I paid Monroe, and I don't know. It was several years, probably 2 years after I had stopped working for Ray. I get a message or a envelope that said, "You need to file city taxes for Middletown." And I called him up and said, "Oh, what's this all about?" And she said, "Did you work here at this place?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "You need to file taxes. It was 1099." And I'm like, "Yes, I did. I filed taxes in Monroe." And she goes, "No, you work in Middletown. You have to file where you work." And I'm like, "Oh, crap." It was relatively simple to take care of, and it was only about $30, but
Yeah, that'd be nice.
well, I don't remember what it was originally from Monroe, but they filed the difference. They took money from Monroe and then they said you owe us like $20 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I can live with that. Um, yeah, but they sent like it was a nasty note. You got $100 fine and blah blah blah, and they waived all the fines and all the fees and everything. They just took the money that I owed them and said thanks. Because I guess because I did actually file, I just filed with the wrong place. They just kind of went, okay, we can fix this.
I'm not
Monroe,
sure what they would feel I owe them. I was working in Cincinnati, not in Middletown. I was making pretty decent money, and I don't know that I mean, yes, I gave work a Middletown address for where I lived, and technically, yeah, that's where I was living, but eh, I didn't own any property.
maybe they just wanted you to file, even if you
And
don't owe them
I
anything.
was just saying,
yeah,
you have a school tax or something for that district.
Yeah, yeah, there might be.
I
Um,
was say because Betheltane has a half a mil or something stupid. It's a nuisance.
yeah, yeah. Well, the people in Monroe, I had to go back to Monroe and tell them that what I had done, so that they could send the money to Middletown. And the people in Monroe were far more. Uh, you can't do that. You you can't. What you filed here? Just send them the money. I filed in the wrong place. Just okay. But yeah, I think Monroe told me that I had to file with them because I was living in Monroe, but they didn't want to give me a refund. I'm like, I filed at the wrong place. I mean, technically, I don't owe you guys any money.
yeah, trying to pry money out of a politician's fingers, even a minor politician.
Like I said, it wasn't much. It was like $30 total. I mean, that's what I owed. It wasn't like I was asking for hundreds of dollars.
Oh, that's right. If the state of Ohio screws up your taxes, they can come back on you for 7 years. But if they screw up, they you can only go back on them for three. So,
Wow.
so when Ohio got rid of telefile by phone, because that's what I always used, I did their new internet thing or something, and their internet thing blanked out and didn't file.
Yeah.
By the time I found got logged in the following year, and then you needed your paperwork, right? So then, because all my stuff had been blanked out, So it wasn't like next year by the time I figured it out, and they had the COVID had hit, so that had pushed it back. Because Trump had, postponed it by 2 months or something that you had to file by. So technically, I was still inside that 3 year window because technically that didn't have to be filed, right, for an extra 2 months.
Right.
The state of Ohio still came back and said I missed the deadline to file to get reimbursed for the 1919 or whatever, or 2019 or whatever, because it had blanked out my record of it. I was like, you got to be shitting me. So the state of Ohio took all my tax return.
That was nice of them.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But if I owed them money,
Oh,
they'd have
yeah.
taken me to the cleaners, right? Because they didn't process my thing. I filled out all the stuff, just their webpage didn't submit right. And
Right.
it's not like they gave you a confirmation thingy in the first year they had their internet doohickey.
You want to
But
talk about horrible websites that this year was the year that I renewed my ham license. The FCC website. Oh my God. It's horrible for taking payments.
That
It
kind of surprises me.
it it is the most confusing system, and they don't give you a confirmation. Well, eventually they might say thank you, but there's no real confirmation. They don't send an email. You get an email like 3 days later that says your payment's gone through, and it's like, okay. But you need two accounts. You need your FCC account, and then you need the FCC portal payment account, which are it's two separate accounts. And then you have to give the one account permission to get the information from the FCC account. That's all. And then um, the only reason why I even kind of thought it worked was because I could watch in the bank account as soon as I debited the card, the money disappeared. But it was like that is the most stupidest system they've ever come up with. And then it says now it was obviously set up for like corporations. It wasn't set up for regular users. But there's a limit, and the limit is like $35,000 per transaction. It's like so it was obviously set up for like large companies that own many stations. It wasn't set up for just normal people. And I'm sure large stations have payroll departments that navigate through that crap easier than normal people. It's the most unfriendly, user-friendly thing I've ever seen. But and the FCC side of it just says you owe us money. Doesn't really tell you how to actually make the payment. Well, yes, I realize I owe you money. Now, how do I pay? So, anything new going on, Mr. Barry?
I got my phone case and transferred over to that new phone yesterday.
Cool.
It's got a weird ringtone though. It rang a little while ago. I was like, "What the hell? Whose phone's that?"
Well, you know,
So I guess that since I didn't pick one, it just picked one of the new ones or something. I guess I don't know.
as long as it's working for you, I guess that's all right.
Yeah, everything came over fine, so I was kind of impressed on that. They got some kind of integrated thingy that they pull all the data off of and clone it to the new one, which is pretty sweet. I was trying to figure out how to back it up, and I was like, "Ah, the heck with this!" And then there was like a video like, "Here, do this," and it just transferred everything. It pulled over all the pictures and all the text messages and all my voicemails and everything.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. Um, yeah, when I got the new Android phone, Android makes it real simple. You just put the new phone and the old phone next to each other, and it syncs everything together
Yeah, that's exactly what it did too. It's like I had to take a picture of this funky.
like a QR code.
It was like a ball of like random blue lights or whatever, and it
Yeah,
then it started cloning.
yeah. That that's kind of. I think mine had a QR code or something, but it said to keep the two phones next to each other, so it was doing
Yeah.
some sort of weird transfer thing, short distance transfer. But everything went over, and I'm like, oh well, cool. Stuff I didn't even care about went over.
Well, that's why I was trying to figure out how to get my pictures and everything off, and they like nuked iTunes or something, I guess. I don't know because there wasn't anything like according to Apple's site to back it up. It was like third party apps, and I was like, what the hell? Used to be able to like plug it in and just copy your pictures off, and you can go to like the iCloud account, and all my pictures are up there, but there's no option to like pull them down or pull them off.
Hmm.
You can just delete them. Is all you can do. No, I wasn't going to sit there and hand copy, save every freaking file one by one. So at least even Microsoft has an option to like download everything out of their cloud system. But I just need to root around more to find a different tooling for Apple or what. But I was like, let's see
See,
what the clone did since I got both phones.
it seems like Apple would need to make a way to do that to be
Oh no,
compliant with the EU.
they want you to pay another buck to extend your storage to 50 gigs,
Yeah,
buck a month, and then 30 bucks or what, $5 or $3 a month for 100 and or 200. I don't know. It's weird. They want you to pay. I'm like, I ain't paying,
yeah.
but I'm not over my limit either. So, but my iPad has a ton of books on it, so I was kind of surprised none of that's showing up in my cloud because it used to be I could just double click on those and they'd show up on my other device.
My my dad gave me a Amazon Fire tablet not too long ago, and I was actually kind of surprised what showed up with it. I don't really use Amazon much for ebooks, but I have bought a couple, and it just synced everything together. And my sister gave me an old Fire from like 2013, and when I started it up, it synced everything, and I was like, that shouldn't be supported anymore. That thing's an antique. What do we
It's
got?
just popped up. It's kind of funny. There's
Neat.
probably some mailmen now that would refuse to deliver the mail because they're threatened by that.
Mm, it looks like a gun. That's neat. Let's see if I there was a mailbox that I saw somewhere. Um, Somebody had stuck a mailbox up on a tall pole, did like an airplane thing, and wrote airmail on the side of it. And I can't imagine that they actually expected mail to be delivered there, but
So you gonna turn one of those old iPads into a touchscreen? Oh,
the only iPad that I have is what would we decide that was? First generation? If
oh, I don't know. Might
if
have been.
if it would work, I
I
might
thought
I might turn it into a screen. I don't know about the touchscreen part.
I thought that video was that guy was pretty dang dedicated to go through everything he did for a year to make that
Yeah.
into a touchable surface screen for computer control.
Yeah.
I think I'd have taken a couple weeks first and dealt with Apple to like get the tablet unlocked so you could use it normally. Didn't
This
used to be that hard as long as you could prove that you bought it, but depends on how you got them, I guess.
yeah, that that iLock or whatever it is that's one reason why I steer clear of buying Apple stuff on the used market.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing is have to be make sure that they're unlocked before you take them.
Well, a lot of
But
them, a lot of them I see the batteries are dead and there's no chargers around or whatever, so it's you're taking a chance.
right.
So, but I try to avoid that stuff. Oh, speaking
But
of auctions, um, the 28th of this month, the is another Miami University auction.
Really?
Yeah, and they have some lunch spots,
And what's it?
uh, low spots, printers.
Oh, okay.
They have. Can you see that? Can you see the box of filament?
Yeah.
So they have that box of filament. They have like six of these things.
oh, the little mini, yeah. Those
Uh, they're,
supposed to
they're
be pretty.
still, yeah, they're still expensive
I was just
printers.
saying, they're supposed to be pretty decent little ones from what I've seen.
There's a Persa. There's the six of them they've got. T-shirt press. Another box of filament. And I can't tell if that is a SLA printer or if that's a um, dryer UV curing station. But they've got that as well, and I don't know what that thing is.
What's the SCA say under it?
Support cleansing aperture, maybe. It's hard to read it. Maybe cleansing, cleaning, maybe. Pat
Sport.
Patty thought that it looked like a washing machine. I don't know. It. I don't know what that is.
I know. What's Google? Whatchamajiggy say it is?
The Googleator.
Yeah.
aperture. Cleaning aperture.
Dang it. Wow, this is annoying. Oh,
Yeah. Probably, I probably spelled aperture wrong.
why is Google asking to use my phone?
I
They
don't
got
know.
calls to make.
Uh, if if AuctionZip was actually user friendly, I would just take that image and drop it into Google search.
Yeah, I say you can't do that. That's what's
Can you
annoying.
right click on it and open in another tab?
No.
Uh,
Yeah, AuctionZip is not user friendly.
I'm shocked that Google imagery thingy couldn't find that.
Did you, were you able to kind of get it to work?
Well, I put it in the I I used well, like clip art or whatever and copied it out and then saved it as a file and then dragged it into the thing, but it's coming back with like nothing that looks even close to it. I've never had it fail before, but it's showing me like laser light beam thingy. What's those little pocket exacto knife things? And it's like nothing that looks like it at all. I don't understand.
That thing must be an antique if Google doesn't know what it is.
Well, as I say, I've never had the imagery thing fail. I would think that there'd have to be a picture of that somewhere in the
There it
grand world
is.
of things.
There it is.
yep, 1300 watts. Damn.
Okay, I'm still confused about what it is. Support cleaning apparatus used for removing soluble supports from
3D
3D
printers. That's what
printers.
I wonder if it's like a wash machine for
Well, it
what's
says,
the like not the PLA or something. One of them is water soluble
yeah,
that you can wash off the parts. I say the AI tool found it.
well, oh,
The immersive 3D part structure and the dimension of the parts in a heated circulated bath of water and cleansing agent. It does wave wash, similar method to dissolve support materials.
well, that's interesting. But I wonder, it looked like it said for FDM printing, but I wonder if it would work with SLA printer.
If you're using water soluble support,
Mm, yeah, but I would be afraid because my printer only does, I don't know. I've only ever used water soluble stuff.
As I say, you'd have to use something that's not.
Yeah, I don't.
Use what is it? I don't even know what the water soluble wash off stuff is, but um, but if
Generally,
you
generally, I don't have a problem. Usually, I dunk it in some water and swish it around a bit, and it helps break the supports off. And if that's what this does, then it might be worth it. And
oh,
then you've got to dry it and dry the part and actually cure it under the UV light. So maybe that's what this setup is. Maybe that's a UV light cure. I don't know. I really don't know. And I won't know until I get there on the 28th. But pots and pans, and here you go. They got like, I, th- I think these are, um, what do they call those stupid things? The cookers. The
they got the arm whackers.
arm whackers.
Yeah, the big paper machete blade cutter.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
see that they got the handle all taped down so you can't lift the handle. It's kind of funny.
Here we go. Everybody needs a cart to drive around.
T-shirt maker
Yeah,
missing the bottom plate.
yeah. It's probably there somewhere because the last one that they had, this auctioneer really didn't know what stuff went with what thing. So he probably, I mean, they just take it off the back of their truck and bring it here,
Yeah,
and they don't know anything. They don't know what any of this stuff is. There's a something. I think that's a amplifier for a PA or audio system. Yeah, look there. Amp PA 23. There's another one. It's good stuff. There's an Oculus with only one controller. And I believe that's one of the old Oculuses.
get you a toaster.
Well,
Was that a
I'm really curious about maybe. I don't have room for one, but if these things went cheap, they might be fun to play with.
hell of a lot of kitchen equipment?
Always.
Wonder why they circulate that so much. Like, why would they be selling cases of paper plates that are still sealed?
Coffee,
Oh, hey, safes. That'd be kind of cool.
coffee pots, and buffers.
Bandsaw in better shape than one of mine out in the shop.
And whatever this is.
A lathe?
That that is a lathe.
No. I'm scrolling through pictures
Oh,
just
you're
past a lathe.
you're doing your own thing. Got it.
I
That
don't like how there's like no information on anything though. That's just just wall of pictures.
yeah. And like I said, the last one, whatever that was, 6 months ago or whatever it was, the auctioneer really doesn't have a clue what any of this stuff is. He really doesn't.
Weird that they're having it in Liberty.
Yeah, yeah.
That might be just to make sure that the majority of the students can't get there. We don't want this crap back.
The When I first started going to the Miami University auction, it was a 1 day event or possibly a 2 day event, but it was huge and it was at Millette Hall. And it started at like 8 o'clock in the morning and it went until 7 o'clock in the evening. Um, it was run by a guy named Doug Ross, and Doug was an interesting auctioneer. He is another one. He really didn't know what any of the stuff was, but he could sell the heck out of it, and he could make you believe that you wanted something even when you didn't. But he his he always wanted to move to some tropical island somewhere and just get away. And that's exactly what he did. And when he did that, Miami University lost their auctioneer. And they put in a contract to get other auctioneers and whatever. And now they've got this guy who I'm guessing does the work cheap enough, but he splits it apart. He doesn't do a couple of day big auctions. He does a bunch of small auctions, and he moves everything to Liberty for some reason. So
Yeah. That other contraption, put a link. It's a t-shirt printer, like Kodak t-shirt printer. That
oh
DTG4.
the yeah. Okay. See, so he doesn't have. Well, at least it doesn't look like he has
The
printing
shirt plate. Yeah.
the printing stuff next to the printing stuff. uh, but this is the this is the same auction that I got
Phone
um,
from.
the Nooks from. The Nooks were buried down in a box. Somebody apparently had found a, a Nook, probably one of his guys or something, and set it on a table. And that Nook brought like 45 or $50, and I got three Nooks for 16. So I like it when they don't know what they're doing. I can find stuff that I want and get the stuff cheap. Leave the nooks inside of a box of wires. That's fine with me. Even if they don't have the power supply. That was still a good deal. But
I say, are all these HP toners already open?
I don't know. Some of the
The four of them have the side flap ripped open, so
Yeah.
like kind of makes me think they're all used.
Well, and when you look at the filament, a bunch of the filament is open
Gone.
too.
Yeah.
Uh,
I saw that slide where they're like half the reels are almost empty.
Yeah.
But none of that's probably going to be worth anything unless you got a really good dryer.
Well, my my dryer, both of both of the dryers work pretty well, but
Yeah, yeah, but I'm saying, how many years have they been
yeah,
sitting in a box?
yeah. Some of that looks like it's a bigger filament too. Some of it looks like it's, what is that, 2.5 millimeter instead of 1.7.
Oh, hey, got a nice little blade furnace.
There's another t-shirt press. Looks like it's actually complete.
Oh yeah, I'd say the
I'm
one I
pretty
saw was missing the lower plate, but then I was say I thought there was another one that looked like it's all there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's what that is. And there are a couple of microscopes. I wonder if those would work well for electronics. Probably not.
Well, I'd say the white one wouldn't be too bad if your board's small enough to fit on the under tray there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wouldn't mind having that little furnace if it worked.
there's quite a collection of stuff. But when Doug Ross
And one
was
ancient ass Philco refrigerator.
I was to say, the funny thing here would be which item do you think is the oldest? There's some tough call on some of these things. That lathe looks pretty far back there. They don't make them like that anymore. Probably need a fork truck to pick the damn thing up though.
when Doug Ross was doing this, and he had like six other auctioneers working with him, and it still took them all day to do it. He would have uh, at least two rings going, and sometimes he would have three or four rings going. So
That
so the
lathe from
Miami University auction is not what it used to be.
that lathe's got a stamp on it that says South Bend.
It's a good lathe, or it used to be.
I was like,
I'm
when
not
was the
seeing it.
last time South Bend made a lathe?
Yeah.
Probably in the 80s. Oh, I see. Oh, shit. Yeah.
I was gonna say it ain't no 80 model. 50s maybe.
Yeah. Could be 50s. That's not bad.
I say it's probably still a perfectly good lathe, but
that thing there.
yeah,
No, that's a bandsaw.
that's the
That's
bandsaw. That
okay.
that looks a
So
little rough. Couple slides past that one.
Couple slides past that one. Oh, I see it. Oh yeah, that's got 50s written all over it. Let's computerize it.
He probably could. Wouldn't take much to mod it.
Look at those nice big caster wheels.
Yeah. double wheeled even.
heavy metal desk that it's sitting on. That's got 50s written all over it.
Probably still has better precision than some of the new stuff.
Wonder if it has any tooling with it.
Well, that's the only thing I see. I don't. There's a couple chucks in the tray, but it doesn't. I don't see the uh,
Oh,
point mount on the end
what
anywhere.
what you're missing is all the box slots. The last time I was up there, he didn't. The pictures didn't show the box slots
Yeah.
of boxes of just miscellaneous stuff. So there's stuff for this stuff could be in boxes, and like I say, he doesn't know what the stuff goes to. So
All right. So you got to track down and find the other. There's a couple bits in there though, laying in the tray.
yeah, uh, the the biggest problem is the how he did it last time. He had his main ring going, and then a couple hours into it, they split into two rings, and one guy went and did the box slots. So if you wanted something that would have gone with something else, you really needed to tell them that it belonged to that thing, like well before they even started. Because if you wait too long, they'll sell what you might need, but they won't sell you the part that it goes to, or the bandsaw or whatever, until later in the evening, and then you might not get what you want. But
Wouldn't mind getting a couple of those rack mount crown 1200-watt amps.
yeah, I don't know what I would do with them.
When I worked at Kings Island, I was in the sound shop and we had about 12 racks of those that handled just background sound. None of the ride sound, none of the specialty stuff, just the speakers buried all around the park. And there were probably, oh, I'd say 8 amps in each rack, and then a bunch of recording equipment or playback. It's kind of cool. It was a fun job.
Do what? Sure.
Send me some gold star. Patty said she wants to go out to eat. Just send it up here. Uh, yeah, you know, Miami. I don't know why they get rid of some of the stuff they get rid of, and why they hold on to some of the stuff they hold on to for as long as they hold on to it. But I'm guessing, like that lathe, it wasn't broken, so they didn't need to replace it. And whoever was doing their shop
Oh,
class or whatever,
yeah. I could see him replacing it just because nobody uses the old manual stuff anymore, and they probably got a new CNC one on
yeah.
contract from somewhere, and a
Well, I'm sure that's why they replaced it now. But
And the new one weighs a quarter what the old one did.
yeah.
well,
There's a lot of auctions on that site in there.
yeah, nothing great. Not
Uh,
not this not not for the
about a
past couple of weeks. I haven't
dozen.
seen anything.
I was gonna say there's about a dozen John Deere tractors tomorrow.
Well, if you need tractors, then yeah.
I wouldn't ever buy a John Deere one, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, the old ones.
The
There's a lot of them over here by us for some reason. Looks like.
the there seems to be a lot of farm auctions right now, and
Yeah, those
farm equipment.
farmland.
Yeah, farm equipment is not something I can get into. So
I'll say there's a one tomorrow. Let's see, what was that? 166 acres of farmland. I don't know if it's carved up in multiple parcels. They got like 5 pictures of it or something. 8 pictures.
have you? I've never dealt with buying land or anything. Have you ever tried to buy land from an auction?
No, but I'm sure it's going to go for crazy amount that's in Lebanon.
Yeah,
They got it. Looks like they've got 3 different, well, they've got 2 colors on the
looks like they've got it uh,
diced
t-
up into like a
2 tracks. Track
uh,
one, 72
house.
acres, and track two, 94 acres.
That what it is? So I don't see what it says anything, but it's got a yellow box with a probably looks like the house is on, and a red box that excludes the barn out in the middle.
Yeah,
But I'm sure somebody will jank that up to stupid. Though it is kind of small, all the data centers want 600 square acres so that you can get the tax exemption in Ohio.
yeah, and they're. It looks to me like they're trying to sell it as farmland because they're saying how much is tillable.
Yeah.
Um,
Curious what they went for the medium size gray safe. I don't have a need for a drop safe, but there's one all mechanical one in there. It says please lock safe. I'm wondering if they know what the combination
Combination
for it
is
is. And I was able to right click and open up the image in another window.
interesting. I
I'm in
ended.
Firefox at the moment.
Well, I I ended up taking a screenshot and dropping the screenshot into Google Images, and that seemed to actually work. So that was kind of the idea that I got from Barry. You need a Kubota? Is that a Kubota?
No, but
No,
it looks pretty nice.
they're the red Kubotas.
Where's that at?
That is Liberty, Indiana,
20th.
on the 20th.
Oh, I don't see it because I didn't put enough miles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're
Liberty, Indiana's
Mini.
far.
50-ish.
Good Lord, how many websites or auctions this company do a day?
So, well, you've got to read the listing because some of these are online, and some of them have like strange pickup times. Like, uh, See, I only did 30 miles. If I go 100 miles, I see more stuff. Ooh, a pizza shop. They're not selling pizza. Yeah. If you,
Polaris Ranger. That's a serious dollar. Polaris shit's steep.
yeah,
Be real curious what it goes for. I ain't driving to Liberty, Indiana to find out.
I'm not doing that tomorrow. I'm waiting until the 28th.
Got a hell of a lot of electric fence isn't still in the bag. They're in the boxes. A lot of straps. Electric fence is still in the spools. Must have been a farm sales store or something.
Could have been. Here's
Log
another.
splitter.
Here's another site that I go to. High bid. This is mostly online. I'm not driving to Indianapolis to get an Asus laptop though.
That's it. There was parts. They had a fan for like my laptop that acts up weird, and it was a down there at the one at Florence by Amazon distribution. I don't oil, and I could have got it for nobody bid on it, and I was like, could have got it for like next to nothing. But it's like, now I drive all the way to Florence, gas prices the way they are to get a $30 fan
To
to
get a
fix my
fan,
laptop that I don't really care about. If it was in Amelia, I'd have bought it in a heartbeat because I'd just go to lunch in Amelia tomorrow or something and picked it up. But
yeah. I like here lately. There hasn't been anything on high bid either. Uh, that's even remotely interesting. But I like high bid. So auction zip is it's more like a classified listing. So you'll see online auctions that will direct you to like high bid or proxy bid or somewhere like that to actually make the bids. But it's a decent site to see overall how many auctions are in the area because almost every auctioneer uses it. So not too bad, I
yeah,
guess.
only thing I've ever bought anything on was the fast track.
Fast track, yeah. Well,
And I've only really, well, technically I've been burnt twice, but neither one of them were real bad. The worst one was the computer, but I managed to salvage enough parts off of it. I got my money back. But because the computer was shot, but between the hard drive and the parts for the fan and everything else and the power supply, I fixed somebody else's at the office and whatnot. Charged them for what I had in it.
yeah.
And I still had the RAM and the hard drive left over, so I didn't get burnt horribly bad.
before RAM and hard drives and all that became expensive, I was finding stuff on Hybid for reasonable amount of money, but you know, gas is gas has gotten expensive. It's not worth driving 50 miles for something anymore
Yeah.
and paying, almost close to retail for something.
I'm just still ticked off at myself for not buying a whole bunch of those 192 gig ECC RAM kits when they were
Yeah.
$600. Because I even thought about it, it's like, hey, what's the price on ECC RAM right now? And it was like, oh, 192 gig sticks for $600. It was like what 900 for 64 gigs of normal RAM. I was like, I bet the ECC RAM should be worth buying because it's half the price for double and almost triple the RAM or better. Now that stuff's 14 grand a set. It's like, good Lord. Even if I sold it for 10 grand a pop, it made $9,000 a set. Uh, Buddy Ryan or whatever was pricing out computers a week before last or whatever and sent me that picture of what Dell's charging for RAM chips. I was like, holy.
There's some laptops down
Uh,
in
yeah.
Cincinnati. Oh, 1,800 bucks.
My dad's car just blew the unibody out. The rear axle broke off this afternoon.
Pretty. Too bad it needs a fuel pump. Or not a fuel pump, a water pump.
Ooh,
Yeah. Yeah.
ooh. That's that the one where the water pump's in the engine block?
Of course it is.
That's what I was thinking.
It's not the cheap fix. It's the yeah. Somebody asked if it had been replaced, and no, it probably needs one. Yeah, you think it's got 160,000 miles on it. 118,000 miles on it. It probably needs the water pump replaced, and if it doesn't, it will soon.
and more.
Yeah, Ford in their infinite wisdom.
Well, they want all their vehicles to be throwaway. Come buy another one.
Well, you remember what was it? Probably 2011, 2012. They said they weren't going to sell the fleet vehicles anymore, which was just
Yeah.
the stupidest thing they've ever said, ever.
Well, I so Ford's ambulances are not insurable anymore,
Yeah.
and that's probably a large market of their fleet vehicles outside of cruisers.
Yeah. Well,
So, but yeah, they definitely had a decent cruiser market, so I don't understand.
I and they sold to Hertz and Avis and Enterprise, or they at least leased them to them. It was a huge market. We're not going to do fleet vehicles anymore. So, you know, 4 years later,
We're gonna do it.
we're going to make fleet vehicles again, but we're going to give them the worst, crappiest fleet vehicle they could possibly find, which was the Ford Taurus. And we're going to stick a police package on it, which it's not a police car. I mean, sure,
Put a
the
big enough engine in it.
the SHO was a decent enough car, but good lord,
Holy
the whole
crap.
the whole thing with the Crown Vics was just how easy it was to fix 90% of it. I mean,
There's this Kubota with the doors and some kind of funky grill attachment on the front. They got it built up to 12,000 and a half. 26 bids with 4 days to go.
there you go. You need that.
No, I only spent 5 on the one I got out in the shop. I don't have the doors, but good God, it's like I can get doors for a hell of a lot less than 12,000. That's almost, I mean, what the hell they go for new nowadays?
And the funky grill.
Yeah, I don't know what that grill is. It's weird. Looks like a cow.
I was at a auction in Germantown a month ago maybe, and he had, I think it was a Kubota. He could not get, the reserve on it was like 17 or 18,000. I'm sitting there going, for that? Looks like a overpowered golf cart. Which I don't know, you know. I'm sure it's expensive, but he just said,
Yeah, so it's a brand new one with the same grill on it. It's 12,999. So why the hell would you buy one at auction for more than it costs to buy a brand spanking new one?
"You are asking the correct question, Mr. Barry."
Because and then and then you got to add 15% buyer's premium, sales tax, and go pick it up. And it's sold as is.
Yep,
Right? You
yep.
bought it straight from Kubota, you have a warranty.
And you might even have them be able to deliver it to you. I don't know if there's a Kubota dealer around here, but
Yeah, there's several. Most of the Ford dealerships turned into Kubota tractor supplies or whatever.
yeah.
Um, because Ford quit making tractors, I guess, or something. I don't know how that went. Dude, that's nuts.
Yeah, I
Yeah, the
this
art.
this this same auctioneer in Germantown, he had a bunch of gaming keyboards. Nice mechanical keyboards. They all brought more than retail. Every last one of them. And I sit there and went, if you think you're going to sell those at the flea market, because that's who bought them, was a flea marketer, you're just going to lose money on the damn things. Nobody's going to pay more than retail, even at the flea market. You know, it would have been interesting to get a few. I saw the same auctioneer. He was selling comic books one day, and he had stacks of them. And this guy bid them up to $45 a stack. Take as many stacks as you want. He took 35 stacks at $45 a piece.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's damn was pretty much what I said.
I say, how many were in a stack?
Various. Uh, some of them were a complete series, some of them were not. But he didn't take like the complete series. He took I don't know. He took a bunch of stuff. He took. Uh, I'll give him. He took some weird stuff that probably was worth some money, but he took a lot of common stuff. By the end of the round, I got a stack for $5. I was happy. It had Batman and some other stuff. I was happy. I'm like, I know the Batman comics are worth more than $5, or at least you know there were like 7 or 8 Batman comics. I'm sure I could get $5 for 7 or 8 Batman comics.
So this auction selling a RTV 1100. It's over. I said 12,005 at the auction. You can buy it at Messick's for 8.
It's called
Same package on it.
that's called people either don't know what they're buying, have more money than they have common sense, or
There's a package stored under the seat.
yeah. Uh, I one of the Miami University auctions when Doug Ross was doing it, there was a couple of Panasonic cameras, professional grade, really really nice cameras, um, video type, and Sandy Mendelson was at this auction, and I had looked these cameras up. I knew what they were worth. I ran him up to like $1,500 a piece on these cameras. They were worth maybe 12. Sandy comes over and goes, "You seem to know what these are." And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I don't have any idea what I just bought." "Then why did you bid that much, you fool?" That's called you got more money than you know what to do with.
Yep. Or you just really want it for some reason.
Yeah. He didn't have a clue. Sandy Mendelson, I was at one of his auctions that he had in a outbuilding out behind Mendelson. He was selling off a bunch of stuff that Mendelson's couldn't get rid of. And he had handlers with him telling him to stop worrying about what things were bringing because stuff was going really cheap, and they were just like, "You got to stop worrying about it. You got to stop worrying about what you paid for it because we can't get rid of it. You paid too much for it, Sandy. You paid too much for it." So I don't know.
There we go. What kind of mileage does something like this get?
Ooh. 6.
6. I'd hope it was better than that.
Okay, 8.
I had a 68 New Yorker that got 8 miles per gallon, towing about a 22,000 pound trailer. It still got 8 miles per gallon.
That's how my van was. It didn't matter loaded or unloaded. I was getting like 16.
Oh, this says it's got an Eco 6 engine in it. It gets about 30.
Yeah, okay. I would take that. So it's a 6 cylinder? Or, yeah,
Yeah, it says
yeah.
a 1962 Ford Rancho has a 101 horsepower Eco 6 or Economy 6
That's not that's not
manual
horrible.
3 speed.
Almost
Uh,
certainly column shift. So Leroy, if you go out to that auction um, in Liberty,
Yes.
if you don't want it or if you pick up both of them, I would like to have that black Bosch and Lomb stereoscope.
Oh, okay.
If it goes under $35,
Okay.
it's easily worth that to me.
Uh, I will. I will see what happens.
There was a second one there that had a camera mount on it, which is kind of cool too, but I figure it's going to go for more because it's got the camera mount.
I watched two guys. The last auction, they had a couple of old 3D printers, like not nearly as nice as what they've got now. I mean, what they've got now are still old, but not nearly as nice as what they have now. And I watched two guys just go insane on those, and I looked at, I was like, I've got printers. I would sell you a printer for like $50. I got a brand new one. I would sell it to you for 100. I mean, but so we'll see. We'll see what those microscopes bring, because I would be interested in probably that white one.
Yeah, the
Uh,
white one has a USB cable on it, or maybe FireWire. It might have the camera built in.
yeah,
I was thinking that that tube on top was where you mounted a camera, but now I'm thinking that is the camera.
that is the camera. Yeah.
But it doesn't quite look like USB. I think it might be FireWire.
I know somebody that's got some Macs.
That'd be some old Mac. Pretty easy to put a different camera on it.
I I don't know. I might have an old laptop that's still got FireWire on it somewhere.
I've got a PCI FireWire card somewhere. You're welcome to.
Yeah. Or or they've just wrapped a USB cable around it because they don't know any better, and it was sitting there next to it.
That link I just posted is the direct link to the image.
Nice. Now why can't I do that?
And this is the other one. And that black Bosch and Lom is definitely older.
Yeah.
And I'm 90% sure that that case that it's sitting next to goes with it.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah. See, I don't think the black one would do good for electronics. This one might. This Omni Pro, the white one. The white one
Yeah.
might. The white one.
So I'm about 80% sure the Bosch and Lom, you can turn the upper half of the head so that you can turn it around.
Okay.
But I don't even want it for electronics that much. I've given up on trying to solder things I can't see. I've got three kids. Two of them are interested in electronics. Come on over this weekend. I need some soldering done.
Now, Google.
So if I bring my laptop motherboards over and the six capacitors that need to be replaced,
Hmm, see, see how good it works.
Give it a try.
Google does not say how old it is. It does say it's vintage, but
Yeah.
145, 150, 849. What? 75, 675.
Yeah, and you can see some of those, the oculars are on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it rotates.
Yeah, yeah. Now I don't know why I couldn't open the pictures like this. So that's just
I
wild.
just right clicked and open image in a new tab.
That's wild.
Damn, that one 4700 there.
Yeah, that doesn't quite look the same.
Says
Similar
it's
though.
an Olympus, like the camera, so probably not.
That looks kind of the same-ish. That looks kind of the same-ish. I seriously doubt I get any microscopes, but I'll try. Other people can Google it. Other people know how to use Google, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You want to see the progress I made on this thingamabob?
Yeah. Your MIDI player?
So since we are an automation club and we've been talking about auctions, so there is um, so basically I'm an idiot and I wasn't looking at the right code. And even after I started looking at the right code, I couldn't get it to work with the SD card because the SD card or the CIFS part of the code was split into two different files. And I did not realize that. So I got it to work. And so you can see there are 12 MIDI files currently. And it is currently playing MIDI number 2. So the next step was nope, 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 nope. The next step was to add the ability to uh, select a track that I wanted to play. So there's a plus and a minus, and then the play will also turn to stop. So the next step, I added 24, or I put more on it because the original guy said that it only supported 16, and I'm like, well, that can't be true. So I got at least 24 MIDI tracks working, and you can actually see the name that it's currently playing. And if you select a track, track 12 is Dr. Mario. So, and track 15 is Mario Brothers. And that is that. So the only thing I cannot get to work, and I'm not real sure why, is the volume control and the tempo control. And I cannot get those to work at all. So I don't know if they're not working in the original library or if I'm just doing something completely wrong. Pretty bright. But if you hit the B button, you'll now see the next track. But if I want to select a different track, it'll tell you the name and whatever track you're selecting, and then you can just hit the B button again to play. And of course that's Tetris. And some of the MIDI files sound better than the others. And
What are we going to do today, Brain?
the same thing we do every day. Try to take over the world. Yeah, I loaded it up with a bunch of game. It, I don't know, you probably can't tell because it's so bright. But if you go too far, like that says select track 24, and there's only 24 tracks, so it's going to loop back around to 1. Now, for some reason, it leaves the 4 there, and I don't really know why. Because it shouldn't. Because everything else is fine. So I haven't quite figured that one out. But it may be one of those minor problems that I'm not going to figure out. But there's 24 different tracks. And it's all on a 4 gig SD card. So I've figured it out mostly. Mostly I figured it out. That's my update.
Very cool.
So yeah, I'm actually really happy with how it turned out and how well it, it does actually work. It it really does depend on the MIDI files that you select. I don't know if the little synthesizer just doesn't have enough voices to do some of them, or if they're just bad MIDI files to start with. But some of them do not sound good on that. So or with that. But for the most part, it works pretty well. And eventually, I will get around to uploading that code to GitHub or somewhere after I clean up the code because it is a hot mess of comments and trying to figure stuff out. So I don't know what I was looking at originally, but
I think I would have gotten rid of every one of those comments.
well, I went through Google Translate and I translated a lot of them so that I knew what it was doing. But this does something else weird that he's using software serial to enumerate the pins, and the ESP32 can redefine those pins anyway. So I'm not real sure why we're using software serial to do that. And that I might try to tackle that problem, but it may be one of those deals where no, it works and I'll just leave it alone. But this was the original code to either raise the volume or change the tempo. And I pretty much copied it verbatim into my little hit button C for volume and hit button A for tempo. And neither one of them do nothing. So I don't know. But this is where it actually does the play loop, and button B is the stop button, and down here in the actual loop this is where you get to select your file, and this is where it displays on the display what file you've selected, and then button B just goes back into the play routine to play it. The only thing that I might actually change is you have to play a file when you first start, um, so that it gets all the file names and everything. And I might try to change that because that's kind of defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to do. But you got the stop, because if you upload, it might stop in the middle of a song and then it would make noise while it's trying to play the other file, and then there it reads the directory and plays the first MIDI tune, because you have to read the directory to get the file names, which makes sense. But that might be the only other thing that I might actually try to change. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy with it. And all that needs to go away. All that. So it was originally written for this little, oh, that's nice. This little M5 stack C3 or C6 device. It's a C6. I could not get it to work. I couldn't get the CIFs uh, to format correctly um, to upload any MIDI files to it, and I have no idea why. It should have formatted it, but oh well. That led me down the fixing it to work with something else, and that is all I know.
Way more than I got. Good job.
Thank you. Yeah, I just, sometimes when you look at code and you're sitting there staring at it and you're going, why doesn't this make sense? And you just need to step away for a while. I think that's what happened with me. Cuz I was looking at the wrong stuff. I wasn't even looking at the right thing. Wasn't even close. So I didn't think he was using whatever because I wasn't looking at the right thing. So we are virtual again next week, and then I think we're in person on the 2nd. Yes, we are. We are in person on the 2nd, and we're virtual again next week. And then we'll have the in-person on the 2nd and the 9th, and then 3 virtual meetings in April. So, it's pretty much all I got. Anybody? Anybody? Bueller? Bueller?
You beat me to the unmute button.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I doubt anybody shows up within the last 3 minutes, so we could call it a little early if we want. If you
I got nothing going on either way.
That's pretty
I'm
much it.
sitting here watching Proc MD stat, waiting for a pile of drives to finish.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Well, I will see everybody next week, hopefully.
Sounds good.
All right.
Catch you later,
Bye.
sirs.
Bye.
So
Bye.
long.